VGK needs a sense of urgency in Dallas tonight, something that they lacked in Saturday's 4-2 Game 5 loss at home. Who will be lighting the fire under the Golden Knights, still just one win away from advancing to the Stanley Cup Final.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us on Twitter at LockedOnVGK, at TDChrisG, at Tony Dasco, and at Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe on YouTube. Chris, after 2-2 tie on Saturday, after 2.5 periods, basically, and VGK, for a second time, they could not close out the Stars. You were at the game. First, let's start there. What were the Golden Knights lacking in Game 5 that took them to Game 6 back in Dallas tonight?
I don't think it's urgency. I mean, I feel like they started the game on time, unlike one Tony Cordasco this morning. No, but I feel like the Golden Knights, I mean, they got over the boards. All of their first shifts were very strong. And again, they weren't chasing the game until, unfortunately, the third period. But I don't think urgency is the issue. I think Coach Cassidy summed it up perfectly. And he said, you're not going to beat the Arizona Coyotes in January if you turn the puck over 24 times. Obviously, you're not going to beat the Dallas Stars in the conference finals when you turn the puck over 24 times. So I think that's where you're going to start the focus for tonight's game, clean breakouts. And after that, you got to outwork them below the goal line. And if they can check those two boxes, all's going to be fine. If they don't check those two boxes, we're going to have a little more unneeded stress Wednesday nights.
Yeah, and Cassidy did cite some poor puck management, told the team yesterday that they do have to play harder, be harder on the pucks. And again, the quote from Cassidy, legendary one, I about drove off the road because I was coming back home the other night, and he said we had 24 giveaways. He said, you're not beating the Arizona Coyotes, ouch, in January with 24 giveaways. No,
with all due respect, he also did say.
No disrespect to Arizona, but it's not the right way to play. The arena tonight is called the American Airlines Arena, a perfect place for the VGK passengers, if you will. Theodore, Stone, Pietrangelo. They could be guilty of being passengers, right, on Saturday.
Shea Theodore, maybe. I mean, he's had a weird series. He's had a weird playoff ever since. I still say there's something going on with him. Ever since he sat out the one game against the Jets due to injury, I feel like there is something going on with him. So, we'll see if we learn more about that whenever the season ends. Hopefully not for another, 2.5 to 3 weeks or so. Mark Stone, I mean, he's not overly noticeable at times, but that doesn't mean he's not doing a good job. And he had a A1 chance, I believe, right after the Golden Knights took that 1-0 lead, and he was around. You mentioned one more, Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo, yeah, Pietrangelo
in front of the net.
Yeah, Stone had that. Yeah, he was from the bumper. He was really close on one. But Pietrangelo, he had the power play goal in Game 3. That game was in hand by that point, but he still had the power play goal in Game 3. And outside of that, I was talking with Gil on Locked On NHL. At times, him and Martinez, they are the passengers out there. This is what you love to go back to, that goal that Jason Robertson scored from the cream off the back of the boards back there, and Alec Martinez, his back was the J-Rob to Robo when that happened. So, those two, they are very responsible for a lot of good, but since they're out there so often in high pressure situations, every now and then it's going to fall apart. And you hope when it does fall apart, Aiden Hill's there to bail him out.
Theodore did have a very nice pass, we have to add, when Chandler
He
Stevenson
did.
came off the bench and he was unaccounted for, and he just came down the center of the ice, and Theodore spotted him. So that was a really
It was a
nice
great play. Yep, no doubt.
Yeah. We saw Amadio for Bluger. What did you see out of Michael Amadio, and why that change? It was something that we just didn't understand.
I mean, Amadio, I think historically throughout the regular season has had history of jumping into the lineup and doing good things. So I think it was more spark related. But was a spark needed? I think is my first question. This team has played very responsible defense throughout the entire playoffs. The wheels have come off a couple of times, but that happens to every team in the playoffs. And Bluger has given new energy to the penalty kill while keeping a very responsible game, with his other line line mates, so to speak. Is there going to be enough of offensive jump for Carrier and Colasar with Bluger in line 4? I think that's probably what Cassidy was looking at, to be honest. So you move Howden down, a little more speed, a little more jump, but this caught me off guard in the post game, right? So they were talking about Amadio coming in. Not sure if that was the answer. It's tough for Amadio just to kind of hit the ground running and boom, it's all going to click, right? It's tough, especially come playoff time. But then Duva was suggesting maybe this is time to tap Phil Kessel on the back and get him in there.
I said that at the start of the series that perhaps we should see Kessel in here because this isn't as fast of a team, and I think it could help to spark them and the experience factor. If nothing else.
No, I'm not questioning any of that, Tony, but the question I'm asking is, don't crap on Amadio, for lack of a better term, for not being able to hit the ground running.
That's fair.
He is, he's been playing in the playoffs. He's been playing in this series, where Kessel unfortunately hasn't played since game 3 of, the first series or something like that. So, I mean, I don't understand how Kessel's going to come in and give that immediate spark over 12 minutes of gameplay. That's the only thing I'm saying right now.
VGK would not have even been in the game if not for the saves by Aiden Hill. The one on Kiviranta was spectacular, where he made the glove side save. He lost his stick. He moved from the right to the left side of the crease. Unbelievable. And if not for his play, and I did take some good-natured chirping at San Jose. Like, first of all, why would San Jose make a trade within the division, which I thought was silly at the time anyway, and then just give up a 4th rounder for Aiden Hill, who could be the MVP? I have to ask you this question, and this is because last night at the Las Vegas Aces WNBA game, I'm sitting there, and Logan Thompson walks by, and then he sits there at center court, and he was there at the game, and then later on, they put him up on the Jumbotron and whatever.
You get to do the shooting thing, the free throw thing like last time, or no?
No. Okay. He's supposed to be injured. He's injured. Was wearing a hat that said October's very own, but if he comes back, this upcoming fall, who in the world will be the number 1 goaltender? Because I'd have to still stick with everything considered with Aiden Hill. You have to re-sign him now. He'll be a free agent. And perhaps Aiden Hill would be the starter over Thompson. I mean, just the way he's performed down the stretch.
You're forgetting Robin Leonard.
You're
forgetting Robin Leonard.
Yeah, I am. It's someone we want to forget for sure.
He's rehabbing. He's trying to play hockey again.
Okay. Will he be back for the Cup if VGK makes it there?
Leonard?
Yeah. No. Coming up next, we have a preview of game number 6 in Dallas tonight, and we'll return with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. A championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Unlike myself and Chris, you have to have a perfect fit, right? So it's the same situation with your vehicle. Some parts fit, some don't. And if you're looking for parts to fit, go to eBay Motors, look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit, ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. And we want to make sure that you understand that the Guaranteed Fit part, you can make sure that every time that you go and you look for parts, you will find the right fit each and every time. The first time around, and all you have to do, again, add the ride to My Garage, look for the green check, and you know that the part will fit. There's over 122 million parts to choose from. You'll be back in the game in no time at all. If you go there, after all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, get the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Again, let's ride, eligible items only, and exclusions apply. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick, this holiday edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Remember and honor our veterans today on Memorial Day, and we appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Big game tonight in Dallas. You don't want to face Pete DeBoer in a Game 7 where he's 8-0. I'm just throwing that out there. No
Sure.
need to panic. There's no need to panic, but there has to be some sort of a sense of urgency. And in listening to Bruce Cassidy's comments yesterday before VGK departed on the flight, one of the areas that he was not pleased with was that fourth line. He thinks that the fourth line needs to play better, and that's the identity line. And there was no identity in the game on Saturday night.
I mean, they changed the line. There has been an identity in that line with Teddy Bluger, and there had been
Right.
some, scoring. And I will say Kolesar, he's been around the net a lot, and there's been a lot of opportunities where it seems like he's in, registering high danger chances. So, I mean, maybe tonight's the night, right? Who knows? Lock of the night, maybe, perhaps. Let's see. So I think that's where Cassidy's mind was in shaking things up. Obviously, Howden, centering that line is a little more of an offensive punch. I don't know. I mean, I still go back to wondering why this change got made in the first place. Amadio, do you need Amadio in this lineup to beat the Dallas Stars? And the answer is no. They've, rattled off three in a row and one overtime loss in there, 2 overtime losses in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 overtime loss, 2 overtime loss. No, 1 overtime loss recently.
Overtime losses, right. 3 overtime games. VGK's 1 and 2 in OT.
Right. Yeah, I was being more or less once we got to the elimination aspect. Chris, come and say hi. So, if there's one question I'm asking, like, do they go back to Bluger tonight? Do they tap in Phil Kessel? I mean, I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to shake out. I think Kolesar has been fine. I think Bluger's been fine. Fortunately, he drew out. And Carrier, he did get a goal this series. I believe he scored in Game 3. And you're going to see him having some punch tonight. So we'll see what curious how much concern Cassidy has with respect to the lineup tonight.
It's going to be all about the response. If VGK scores first, they can't allow a team like Dallas to come back in just a minute 48 later and score the equalizer. And then they scored again after VGK went on top, 2 minutes and 9 seconds after that. So it's going to be about the response as much as anything. And that's been one of the trends that we've seen in this series.
I mean, the response is fair. And, you look at the Edmonton series where Vegas also had the response when, Edmonton seemed to be trying to take over and things like that. And, credit DeBoer here. I mean, we've, not just this show, I'm sure everyone's been kind of crapping on DeBoer a little bit, Pete DeBoering, whatever you want to say. But I think he made a remarkable adjustment, at least it felt like it, in Game 5, where VGK had a very good start again, very, very good start again. I mean, they've had good starts in pretty much most of the games this series, which was, a little different than Edmonton, obviously. But after about the 10-minute marker, it really felt like Dallas controlled everything for the rest of the game. And it all started with a forecheck, which you really never saw DeBoer in Vegas having that strong of a forecheck below the goal line even. So credit DeBoer for some adjustments. And, this is, as Gil said on Locked On NHL last night when I recorded with him, you got a chess match going on between the two coaches. And the last couple of games, certainly DeBoer has that king maybe in the corner right now. And you got a couple pieces chasing it around. And, Cassidy's got to maybe find a way to get out of this little trap that we're in and figure out how to break through.
I'm not liking the demeanor of South Beach Bruce. He's got to be prepared for Florida, right? Get a little bit of a base of a tan. but also he's not swaying as much because he's sitting down. I don't know if you noticed that, but on the swayometer, I mean, hey, did you realize that VGK has not lost 3 consecutive games since January? It's been that long.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is pretty it's pretty strange times we're in, and you got a strange parallel, maybe an unfortunate parallel happening with the NBA, right? I mean,
Mm.
what, the Celtics down 0-3, and all of a sudden coming into game 7, they're a 7.5-point favorite tonight. So, we hope, I mean, God, can you imagine if twice in the same calendar season the conference finals for the NBA and the NHL both have the reverse sweep? That would suck. Oh, that
Yeah.
would suck. I don't care less what happens in basketball. I don't watch much of it, but God, if VGK was on the wrong side of this reverse sweep, that would be borderline catastrophic, right? So we definitely hope that Cassidy can, whatever the urgency is, whatever the tanning bed has in store for him, whatever Cassidy needs to do to find a way tonight is what needs to happen. I'm very confident about tonight. We'll talk maybe more about that in our third segment, but I'm pretty confident that it's all going to work out tonight. And I think this is not going to be an overly stressful game for the Golden Knights. That's me personally. We'll see if that prediction rings true or not.
The Golden Knights got out to that quick start. I was looking up there, and suddenly VGK led 7-2 in shots on goal, and then the ice tilted like right after that. Did you see I posted it. Someone was nice enough to do like a handmade shot chart, and I posted it at Locked On VGK on Saturday, and it period one. I mean, you talk about a goaltender under fire. Holy cow. It was the quality of shots. All the shots there were a lot of high danger zone opportunities for Dallas, and the Passengers had better step up, and they've got to do something. They have to play more physical in front of the net, or they're not going to win. They won't win tonight. They won't win either game, in my
I mean,
estimation.
Dallas had a deflection goal, their second goal of the game. I thought that was going to be
No.
Pavelski at first.
Hang on a second. Okay, so the narrative again on State Run Radio was just that there were some really bad bounces. The Stevenson goal was kind of funky. Did you see that? End over end wobbling, goes through. Same thing with the Robertson goal, which was deflected by Theodore.
Yeah, that was a weird one. But so what?
Right. So,
it happens.
Okay,
it
that
happens.
was 1-1 on just bad bounces and the way the puck came off the stick. In any
No,
event,
I mean, I thought everything was fair that game. I think there's only one or
bad
two
ice.
penalties called the whole game.
No, the first one was 50
looked
seconds
good.
in. No, the ice was great. 50 seconds in was the first one, and then we went long stretches of time before. What were there? 2 penalties called in this game?
Yeah, there wasn't much at all. I mean, there looked like a few more that could have been called down the stretch, especially a couple of Vegas players taken down. But, they weren't calling anything on either side at that point. So at that point, there's no issues with the refs whatsoever, right? I mean, 2 calls the whole game, let the players, the best team is going to win that game. And I'm fine with that. I mean, the Eichel takedown, with 5 minutes left, whatever it was. I mean, you're down 2 goals at that point. It's not on the refs. It's on the Vegas Golden Knights. So kind of going back to things, I was trying to think about bounces and weird things. I mean, yeah, the Robo goal was kind of strange. It was a weird, deflection, came up and down. Fine, whatever. That's hockey. VGK's had those happen before too. The second goal was a beautiful tip in. I thought that was Pavelski, but it was actually Glenn Denning who maybe draws out tonight with Jamie Benn coming back.
No, you need to. I told you need to have him in there. He's
I don't disagree.
Gritty guy. He's a gritty player, and he wins faceoffs, and he is a very good forechecker. I don't know how they're going to shake things up there, but yes, Jamie Benn is back tonight. And what do you think the difference will be with this Dallas team with him reinserted back in the lineup after the 2-game suspension?
Teams find a way of banding together when a key component is out. We've seen this happen with Vegas with Mark Stone out, and just, it's what happens. I mean, you band together and everyone, increases their game and their responsibility a little bit. And now Jamie Benn is back, and this is not the spot Vegas wanted to be in. Let's be clear about this. But on the other side, last time I checked, the Dallas Stars are 0-3 when Jamie Benn is in the lineup. So, maybe Benn is going to
Compensate.
impose himself on this
Okay.
game. Maybe that's the word to use. And he's
Overimpose.
going to push a little bit, and maybe he's going to try and take matters into his own hands. I don't know. I mean, dude's a 10-year captain, so I think he'll play the right game. Do I think the reason the Vegas Golden Knights have been winning is because Jamie Benn's in the lineup? I don't think it's fair to say that, but maybe this will help the Golden Knights because they lost to the lineup without Jamie Benn, so maybe there's something there where Vegas will have a more responsible game themselves. And this is something that I mentioned, I think, going into Game 4. Without Jamie Benn in the lineup, you knew that VGK could maybe key in on one line. They key in on that Robo line, obviously, and try and get a better defensive matchup. Well, that didn't work. Robo's been lighting us up, and give him all the credit in the world, and give DeBoer credit for finding a way to keep him scoring in the loss of Jamie Benn as far as a balanced attack goes. So maybe Cassidy was overthinking the line combinations a little bit as far as who we put out there defensively when certain lines are out there. So maybe that will actually help in some strange way. I don't know.
Coming up next, we'll have our locks of the night and our predictions on tonight's game in Dallas. It's a big one because VGK does not want to face Pete DeBoer in Game 7. And don't forget, each and every Friday, it's WTF. What the Friday? That's something that you have to check out and leave your comments.
That segment might write itself.
Please leave your comments, as always, at Locked On VGK. Back with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you doing that. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. And please go to the YouTube channel that is Locked On Golden Knights and subscribe there. So, Chris, a lot has been made in this series about VGK's depth, their depth. But don't you feel, especially missing Evgeny Dadonov, missing Jamie Benn, that it's about time that we talk a little bit about the Dallas Stars' depth as well?
There hasn't been any depth.
Oh, man, the eye roll.
Who got the eye roll? Did I give you the roll? Oh, not intentionally. Chris, we're doing like a minute, buddy.
Chris,
all right, so back to your comments. The depth was not awesome there for games 1, 2, 3. It wasn't intentional. I promise you that.
No. It's good. It's good. I got you.
I'll own up to it if I did. I promise you that.
No.
No, you're good. You're good. So games 1, 2, and 3, there was no depth. There was like 3 people scoring or something like that, and then obviously that changed once Jamie Benn went down. So again, let's make sure we're being fair on this show and credit the Dallas Stars. I'm sure we're going to get a little more some more comments on our YouTube today than we've had since now that Dallas is back in this series. So I want the Stars fans to understand that your team deserves credit. You're playing well. DeBoer is doing a better coaching job than anyone in Vegas would have given him credit for. I think that's it. That's the point right there. Boom. Next.
Yeah. And right before game time on Saturday, I was like, and I did say it, I mentioned it on the show. I said, this will not be as easy as fans are expecting. You just come back home, we'll get the easy W and move on our way. No, there's going to be pushback. This is still a very good team. And I still feel as though sooner or later, Rupe Hintz, who he got stoned as well by Hill the other night, is going to break through. But here are our predictions. First, I'll go, and I'm going to go with 4-3 Dallas Stars. The only game I got right in my predictions, by the way, was game number 1 in this series. And the fans are definitely, they're jubilant because of my Dallas pick. I'm going to go with Ivan the Great or Ivan the Terrible Barbashev. And then I'm going to go with Alec Martinez, who knows how to score the big goals, even though he's been a passenger a couple times in this series. Chris's.
Martinez almost had a vintage Alec Martinez goal on Saturday night where you get a shot coming right down the middle. Martinez comes up the left circle for that rebound attempt. And I don't know, the shot either got blocked by a defenseman or something, but you felt it coming. Like that's how Alec Martinez does score his, few goals every now and then. So I definitely love that call, especially if the game goes into overtime tonight. Oof, I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does. All right. So Tony said 4-3 Dallas, Barbashev, and Alec Martinez. Chris, I am going to go 4-2 Vegas tonight. I don't see it as being a stressful game. I see maybe a 3-2 game and then Tony's favorite getting the empty net goal. I said Colasar. His name is popping up in high danger situations. So I'm going Coley tonight and March is so. Oh, Chris is giving you some
Little
other
Chris,
stuff's
go ahead,
happening.
man. It's your
All right,
turn.
Chris, what do you got, buddy? What's the score tonight?
5-0 Dallas.
What?
And so there's no stars.
Game 7. I want to see a trophy. I want the series to end in Game 7. I want Game 7.
He wants hockey. Yeah. He needs
Do you
to
have any
study.
picks for Vegas since we're going to get shutouts? I mean, who's going to have a good game just in case?
The Stars goalie. And you know what? The captain is back. The Stars captain.
So he's taking Ottinger and Ben, I guess.
And Ben, yeah. Okay.
This is unrehearsed, guys. This is raw. We'll have a conversation.
Wait. So was he at
Game
wrestling
7.
last night?
Game 7.
Stop.
Was he at wrestling last night?
We were actually at the event last night, the AEW wrestling. So he's got the TV like interviews down and stuff. So really fast on that note. So I think we can agree we don't care for shootouts, right? They're kind of fun, but as far as sorting it out, I think what you need to do for when games go into overtime and they can't score, you need to bring a wrestling ring out and a ladder. You need to have a ladder match.
Oh man, I saw the
You have a ladder
jump.
match with each captain, and then they battle. First one to grab the puck off the top of the ladder gets the extra point for the team. All right, there you go.
I don't care who you are. Like, I mean, those wrestlers are very well conditioned and they drink a lot of beer and they're probably drunk when they're going there. But the one wrestler climbed up the ladder, and that was really tall, to a high ladder.
Oh, that was a 10-foot ladder.
Okay, a 10-foot ladder, and then comes down and smashes a table. That still hurts.
So you had that. So we're referencing the AEW Double or Nothing event at T-Mobile Arena last night. So the last match, they call it Anarchy in the Arena. All right. It starts off there. It's a 4-on-4 match, whatever the terminology is. They're fighting literally in the stands to start the match, right? There's a death metal band playing the Wild Things song up there the whole time. It winds up spilling into the ring where there's blood everywhere. They're cutting each other open and stuff. There was something where there was glass on the I gotta show you all this, Chris. We left, but I gotta show you all this. A dude kicked a dude in the head, and there was an explosion of pyrotechnic when it happened. Like this was kind of a gruesome match at the end, but everything else, what you were referencing, Tony, was a lot of fun. The acrobatics that these guys can do, whether it's WWE, AEW, it's remarkable watching. Like, it is entertaining, it's fun, and it's entertaining. That's all I can say. And honestly, if things don't go well for the Vegas Golden Knights these next couple of days, I'm gonna be looking for new forms of entertainment. So I'll be watching a lot of wrestling.
Okay, so while you were at the Golden Knights on Saturday, the last 2 nights I went to the Las Vegas Aces games, sellout and a close sellout on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Back
That's
to
so
back.
good.
No, it's terrific, right? But the one thing, man, it's not WTF yet. I can't get into this. No, I was just going to say, there's got to be a better traffic flow to get out of these garages in the city. I mean, it took about 45 minutes last night, just stuck in my car.
He's got to park somewhere else.
Mandalay
I mean,
Bay.
we've been parking at MGM for all the Golden Knight games. It's a longer walk, but we get right out of there. No issue whatsoever.
Even last
I don't
night,
want to get stuck
the holiday traffic plus these games, there's got to be a better, I guess, way of scheduling some of these events too.
I'm sure they'll figure it out when we bring 30,000 more people a night, 5-6 days a week, right across the street there with a baseball stadium. I'm sure it's going to be great.
No, they won't. There's not even any parking there. That's great.
Tunnels.
Okay, for my man Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Everyone's invited to the Golick cookout later on today. I'm sure that's going to be fun. Is there a cookout? No. Do you have a cookout today?
We didn't even talk about it. We planned out our Memorial Day probably less attentively than you and I plan our podcast. So we haven't made any plans yet, but I'm guessing I have to go do some running, and I'm guessing on the way back, hey, why don't you grab some steaks? We'll cook out. I think that's going to come. I hope it does, because Amanda makes some awesome steaks. She marinades them all day in this. Yeah, it's so good. So good.
All right. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the game tonight at 5:00 Las Vegas time, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'll be on time. I won't take a little nappy nap there right before the show, and we'll be back again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care, everyone.